Hey friends, let's talk about my yarn closet. I was going through my yarn closet one day, and every once in a while, I don't know if you're like me with my yarn and with my books, every once in a while I just kind of move things around. Like to clear things out, you know, if things have gotten in piles and they're a little bit messy, I'll pull stuff out and I'll rearrange and put it back in and make it nice and pretty again. Well, one day I was starting to do that with my yarn closet, and I got the idea for a big change because we had been doing a renovation of our regular closets in our bedroom, and I had some stuff that I could now use in my yarn closet. I didn't do any major renovations. The shelving that is in there came with the house. The house is from 1965. It is blue on the inside of my closet. It's been painted probably 100 times. The shelving is not straight. We didn't go and fix any of that. I really just worked on reorganizing things. So it's not a complete overhaul, but it does look a heck of a lot different than it did before. So I just wanted to come on really quickly before we dive into the whole process and talk about a few things. One, it looks real bad at the beginning, and that's because I was halfway through taking things out to reorganize when I came up with my idea, and then I just threw things back in there. So I do treat my yarn a little bit better than it initially looked in the first clip that you're going to see. Two, the lighting sucks. I'm sorry. This closet is teeny tiny. It is behind the door of my office. It's just, there's no lighting. It's awful. So it's going to be different all the time. It's never going to be great. It's just going to be varying degrees of bad. So I'm sorry. It's just what it is. I can't do anything about it. I tried my best to get as much light in there as I could, but it's just not great. But yeah, the lighting's just gonna suck for the whole time. Sorry. Three, there are probably going to be times where you'll see me do something and then you'll see me redo it, and then maybe later on at the end you'll be like, hey, wait a second, that's not what that looked like. It looks different again. I kept getting inspiration. I kept going through things, and I would pick things out and put things back and move things around, and this has been quite a long process. So some of the yarn has now been used and is now in different projects. So yeah, some of it is just not going to be the most cohesive process ever. And that also brings me to my final point, which is that this is not something that is like a time lapse of a one-day transformation or anything. Something that I have mentioned before on the channel but haven't really gone into a lot of detail about is that I live with chronic pain, fibromyalgia, some other stuff. So things like this, larger projects that are physically involved, I can't do those fun time-lapse videos that people do online of intense overhauls in one day. My body won't let me. I get like about an hour of work, and then I need to sit down and rest for a little bit. So you'll see me change my outfit a lot. You'll see things that are just changing without you being able to see the process, because there were some times that I just couldn't get up the energy to film it, to change my clothes out of my pajamas and film something. So yeah, that is real life. That is my real life. I just want to put that out there because sometimes this, the productivity and the, I don't know what to call it, but like the cleaning and organizing that you see online sometimes can make you feel like utter crap because you can't do what other people are doing. And I just want you to know that this took me forever. And some days I moved one ball of yarn to a different spot, and then I wouldn't work on it for a week. And sometimes I would get really gung-ho and I would work for a couple of hours. So yeah, Normal is whatever's normal for you. And honestly, if you like your yarn to be in a pile, as long as it works for you, that's fine. If you like it perfectly organized by a gradient of the rainbow in cubes, also fine. This is my solution for what I've got to work with, and I hope you enjoy. So now, into the process. Okay, so I just started to take apart my little closet in my office where I keep all of my yarn, and I got halfway through or partway through organizing some stuff, and then I just had a really good idea, which is connected to my closet reorganization. And yeah, I think we're gonna go on an adventure and fix this all up. So I just jammed some stuff back in here so I could show you what I'm working with from the beginning. And let's figure this out together. Okay, this is horrible lighting because I'm holding my phone flashlight to show this, but I just needed to show how incredibly precise this is going in here. I mean, it is like rubbing right up against the edge. We're doing it. It's working. It's going in. It's going in. It worked. It works. It works. It opens up nicely. This little cabinet, I swear, I think I've had it for over 10 years now. It has never done me wrong. I find uses for this thing no matter where I go. I do have the back that originally came with this. Maybe I should put it back on, but I already have it in the closet and I don't feel like getting it out again. Maybe one day. So I do have these lights that I literally just like shoved one up in the corner for right now, that I'm planning to put in both my closets. They're motion activated. I'll show you really quick and then I will get rid of it. So they're motion activated, and I wanted to try and give like just a tiny bit more light for this. I know it's still horrible, but I wanted to see how the closet was going to work before I actually mounted the lights anywhere, so that I could really see what the dark areas were and where I needed light. So what I'm thinking is, and the light already went off. Okay, cool. Well, that's just not going to work. What I'm thinking is I might do my fabric and sewing stuff down here, and then like, oh my gosh, what's it called? Like big box store yarn, Michael's and Joann's, Lion Brand, that kind of stuff up on the top. And then I will have more room on my shelves for, I might do my books up on this shelf and my needle sets, tools and stuff. And then I will open up some space up here for my hand-dyed yarns, which actually the collection, I know right now it looks really jammed in there, but my collection of hand-dyed yarns is actually getting smaller as I work through some stuff. So let's see what happens. here's what we're working with so far. Things are a little jammed in there. I need to figure out what to do with my patterns for sewing and how to store patterns that I've already printed out and used. We'll figure that out. This isn't necessarily finished, and I'll talk you through everything once I'm done with the closet. But yeah, that's what we're looking like so far. Okay, now let's tackle this very jam-packed mess of yarn. I know what everything is and it makes sense to me, but I think it could be better and feel like it has a little bit more room to breathe. And I have to decide what to do with that one little skein of Nora over there that is not the same shape as anything else. Here we go. Oh, I just realized that one of our cats is a fiend about balls of yarn, and she could never get to any of the yarn in the closet because I had those drawers in here and the top drawer was used as like project storage, so it was always not a flat surface and hard for her to climb. But I basically just introduced a ledge for her to get up to the rest of the yarn. So I'm gonna have to think about this for a little bit. Okay, so sorry that the angle keeps changing so constantly, but I'm just trying to get it so that you can see the spot that I'm currently working in. I mean, this is obviously a very small closet, and it's also behind the door to my office, so there's just like no swinging space around here. It's dark, it's cramped, it's just not ideal. But next, I think what I would like to try and do is get my books on this shelf. We'll see. I'm kind of running lower on space than I thought I was going to. And I didn't have my books in this closet to begin with, but I would like to have them in here. So we'll see. This might not actually happen, but let's try it. So far, so good. You can kind of see them right there. This is impossible. Okay, back to a hopefully better angle again. Let's tackle some tools and notions and then we'll see what we're left with. we're done. All right, so a tour of the finished product. Oh, I just hit my elbow. Okay, like I said, this is in a really cramped area. So I am currently squatting, jammed here in the door frame. I'm wearing a mic because I am probably gonna keep turning away from the camera. So I just wanna make sure that you can always hear me. Hopefully it works. I'm probably going to cut my head off a lot because I just don't fit in the shot with the closet. And I will try and get better angles of everything for you to show you as I'm explaining. But here we go with our final reveal. First things first, what's down here is just a basket full of whips. This is, well, and project bags, obviously, because these are empty. This is just here for right now. I really would like to try and get this someplace else because right now I don't like that it's just sitting on the floor in the closet, but that is what we're working with for right now. And I'm just going to get it out of the way for the rest of the tour. We'll go through quickly an overview of what everything is, and then I will go through and talk through it in more detail. So down here, we'll start from the bottom. I have this cabinet that has in it my sewing stuff and my big box yarn, or primarily my big box yarn. Then up here I have scraps and tools on top of it. What we have on this little half shelf up here is books, a bin of yarn that I will explain in a little bit, and needles. And then up above we have hand-dyed yarn and related things. I will talk through them all in more detail when I am not trying to fit myself into the frame. Last but not least, up on the top, we have some blanket yarn and a bin that contains yarn I'm going to either be donating, selling, or turning into gifts for people. And then this column over here, this little pile, is random other crafty things. All right, so we're gonna start at the bottom and work our way up. I'm sorry in advance. This is going to have to be a lot of you looking at the closet and me talking off camera because I can't fit in the screen and show you what we're working with. So sorry, but that's how our tour is gonna have to work this time. Very quick note, my neighbor has been weed whacking all day long and my husband is now watching a movie downstairs. So there might be some noises that you hear, but we're gonna push ahead. So sorry, and I'll see what I can do to get those lowered in editing. All right, starting from the bottom. Like I said, down here, I start with my sewing stuff. So I have a couple of sewing patterns over here in the corner, and then this stack of fabric is all fabric that I haven't used for anything yet. Some of it is several yards, some of it is like little bits and pieces that I have picked up over the years and might make something out of one day. Over here, I have some clothes that I want to either alter or use the fabric for something else, and then some fabric scraps that are left over from things that I have made. And in the binder down at the bottom, I have patterns that I have printed out and cut out at home. Over into the very dark corner, we start with my big box store yarn. So this is going to be mostly Lion Brand yarn, and then it continues up onto the second shelf. And yeah, this shelf is pretty dark, but I know what's here and I don't need to see it in great light, so it doesn't bother me. I mean, it's in a cabinet in a closet, so of course it's not going to be great light. So yeah, like I said, this is mostly Lion Brand stuff, and ideally what I would like to do is get this yarn that's on the bottom shelf to fit up on the top shelf, and Then I would be able to have the bottom just for my sewing stuff, and I would hopefully allow everything to have a little bit of room to breathe and not be jam-packed in there. You might notice that this top shelf is already looking a little bit more spacious than it was earlier in the video. There are some yarns that I have decided to either give away or make gifts for people, or I've already started using them myself. So we're working on it, and it's starting to open up just a little bit. Moving up, I have my scraps in this little bin up here. It is really jam-packed at the moment. But yeah, this is what we're working with. I'm not too much of a scrap person. I really only keep things that are like leftovers that are large enough I'll be able to use in something else, like a pair of socks or maybe stripes in a sweater or something like that. So these are all, I would say probably over 30 grams, maybe even more than that. Yeah, I don't really keep tiny scraps. So those are all jammed in there. I would like it to be a little bit more open, but we'll get there. And then I move into some various notions and tools. This is a little phone stand slash light that I use sometimes for taking pictures. I can link it. It's not the most stable, so I don't know how much I would recommend it. It's good for if you're like just starting and need something very simple because it's quite affordable, but yeah, it's not going to be like photographer quality tool. And then into the very dark corner again, I have a little plastic tub that has my blocking mats. These are the Knit Picks blocking mats. And then I have my neck light that I can grab whenever I'm going to be working in the dark. And I have two ChowGoo shorty sets, the red set and the blue set, and Licka shorties as well, tucked in here. And then the only other things I have in here are my blocking pins from Knitter's Pride and an I-cord maker from Tulip. I don't know if you can see the brand on there. This is amazing. I will link this below as well. Last but not least, over in the darkness, oh, there we go. That's a little bit of light coming in. I have just a nail I put in the wall here, and these are my sock blockers and my gleaner. I actually haven't used this yet. I'm anxious to use it. So coming over to this side, you can see my shadow. Hello. I have just another nail on the wall with my rotary cutting mat and a ruler for that. And then we move up to this little half shelf. I have all of my books, and then I have this little bin here. I don't really know why I do this. My mom is in several knit and crochet groups, and sometimes they do yarn swaps, and my mom will bring me home some yarn and pass it along to me, and for some reason I keep it all the yarn that she's given me in this little bin separate from my other yarn. I don't really know why. I don't know, but that's just what I do. So that's there. And then I have my needles. This is the Knitter's Pride Day and Night set. This is a needle case from Knit Picks, and it has Knit Picks interchangeables in it. And then I have the ChowGoo red lace set and a set of ChowGoo bamboo, I think they're called twist needles. I do have a lot of needles. I'm very lucky. Many of these were gifts. So I have a lot to choose from, and I definitely probably don't need this many, but I like it because I like to be able to change up what I'm working with. It helps my hands a lot. And then we have my hand-dyed yarn shelf. This is still a bit more cramped than I would like it to be, but I'm working on it. I will get things a little bit more room soon, I hope. So starting over here, I have this bin has all of my mini skeins. Some of them are wound up, some of them are still in hanks. And then on top of it, I just have a couple of skeins that I have already caked up and just kind of don't fit anywhere else. I don't really want these here, but they don't fit anywhere else. So right now they're there and I will work on getting room for them someplace else soon. This cube, these are just like acrylic bins that I have turned onto their side to hold my yarn. And this one has all of my yarn that I have more than one skein of. So I would say it's mostly fingering. There's one sport and DK in here, but yeah, these are all things that I have more than one skein of. And then the next cube is all single skeins and self-striping. This is, let's see, we have some Sorella. I would say it's mostly Hypnotic yarn from the Yarnable box, which I really love. And then I have a couple of skeins of Woolens and Nosh, and then a couple like random other single skeins in here that I just loved and thought were pretty. Up on top of it, this is, crinkles for a second, this is a fade set that I got from Ken Yarn. It is fingering weight and they are 50-gram minis, or yeah, whatever you would call that. And I don't know what I'm going to do with that, but it's really pretty. And then over here in the dark corner, once again, we have, let's see, this lighting is just going to be awful. Sorry. Everything that's over here is yarn that I have a purpose for. So it's either it has a project already assigned to it or a design that I'm going to be doing with it. So hopefully this will clear out pretty soon because all of these yarns have a job. And I can hopefully get this a little bit less cramped over here soon. All right, I think I just got some better light, but let's quickly, again, mini skeins and random caked yarn that I have more than one of, single skeins, and then this, now that you can see it a little bit better, is all of my yarn that has a purpose. So a lot of these you probably saw in my Ravelry Q video. So you can see like my yarn for my stripes pullover and my Great Gingham Raglan. And last but not least, at the very top, we have a bunch of blanket yarn that I don't really have anything in mind for. I just think it's great to keep around for, you know, they're really good for like baby gifts or anything like that. We have some paint swatches on the wall from our previous owners of the house. That's fun. And over here, we have just some like other random craft related items. And then this basket I am not going to take down because it's probably going to fall on my head, but this is full of yarn that I'm either going to sell or give away or turn into gifts for other people. All right, that tour was chaos and not the best, and maybe one day I will have to redo it when I understand lighting and have better lighting. But for right now, that's what we're working with, and I'm really tired of telling you that this video is coming, so I just want it out and I want you to be able to see what I'm working with. That is all I have in my yarn closet. That is all the yarn that I have in my office. I do have one little bin that I put like teeny tiny scraps of yarn in, things that I might use as like scrap yarn one day for like a lifeline, but that's not really worth showing. So this is all of my yarn, everything that I own, and where it all is. I think I'm going to take account of it all and I will put the totals over here. I don't really like to challenge myself and like have a number that I want to get down to, but it's fun to keep track of and to know what I am working with. So yeah, I'll put the number there and we can check in at some point, maybe with better lighting, and see how it's going. Thanks for coming along for the ride. Take care of you. I'll see you next time. Well, this is great. This is just fantastic. Great shot, MC. Great. First things first, what I have, okay, and needles. Oh, good, my thing just moved. Ow! So we are going to start, oh my god, I look naked.